Tonight is the most unpredictable event in professional wrestling. The event where every match is randomized. BCW presents Random Draw 3.
Thank you for joining us here tonight for BCW Random Draw 3 Night 2. We are coming to you again live from Las Vegas, Nevada, the gambling capital of the world. And tonight, every match will be randomized. Every match will have a random stipulation, and that is really going to shake up some of the matchups that we have for you tonight. And when it comes to the matchups in the main event for the BCW World Tag Team titles, Adam Ace and Jacob Akane, they finally get their shot at BCW Tag Team Gold when they take on the Exiled. They have a non-title win over the champs. Can the champs rally, or will we have new BCW World Tag Team Champions here tonight? And then in a contest of two of the most jacked individuals in BCW, we have Grizzly Mac taking on Kensho. And in a true grudge match after Sweetcox attacked Isaac Taylor backstage, Isaac Taylor and Sweetcox will lock it up here tonight. What will the stipulation be in that one? And a four-man over-the-top rope battle royal is our opening contest of the night. Former number one contender Cameron Lewis versus The Tool versus Tony Rizzo versus the Idol Sergio Gomez in this explosive four-man over-the-top rope battle royal opener. And it's really going to come down to what the stipulation is for this one. What will the winner receive if they win this four-man over-the-top rope battle royal? We are going into the Slamtacular pay-per-view coming up. It's going to be the biggest event in BCW history, and the winner will receive a little something special going into that pay-per-view. But let's take it to the randomizer. Let's find out what the stipulation is going to be in our opener for BCW Random Draw 3.
The following is a four-way, over-the-top battle royal, where the winner will receive an open contract for BCW Slamtacular.
Well, here we go. The bell has rung. The match is underway. Opening contest of Random Draw 3. And out of those three randomized stipulations, it came up with the holy grail on that one. An open contract for Slamtacular. You get to pick your opponent, and you get to pick the match stipulation. Non-title, of course, as we have our title matches getting locked up on that one. But that is a huge caveat going in to BCW's biggest pay-per-view ever. It's going to be our WrestleMania. It's going to be our Bound for Glory. And that is going to be a huge thing there. But we have The Tool just obliterating Cameron Lewis over the top.
Cameron Lewis has been eliminated.
The former number one contender who had a title shot on night one of Random Draw 3 has already been eliminated. I did not have that on my bingo card. I thought Cameron Lewis might even be the favorite going into this four-man over-the-top rope battle royal, but it was not meant to be. Cameron Lewis was the first one eliminated, and that is just a sampling of what Random Draw brings to these matches. In a traditional four-way match where it would be pinfall and submission, I would have had Cameron Lewis in the catbird seat to win that one, but Cameron Lewis is out, and now we got the three competitors in the ring. We still have Sergio Gomez, Tony Rizzo, and The Tool. And we got Sergio Gomez, the Idol, the man with the most experience, 30-plus years in the biz. We got Tony Rizzo, the head trainer of the BCW dojo. He's got over 20 years experience. And we got The Tool, who is one of the fastest, the most technical in BCW. So a lot of angles here. But The Tool, he has given up a lot of weight. We got two men who are over 300 pounds in Sergio Gomez and Tony Rizzo. Will it be the size and the power that pays dividends in this one, or will it be the speed and explosiveness of the Tool? He's given up about 100 pounds, and he's got to get those big men over the top rope. Is he going to try and use some tactics to let the big men fight it out and pick up the scraps? Or will the experience edge of a man like a Tony Rizzo or a Sergio Gomez pay dividends in this one? And here we go. No man really teaming up with anyone in this one. There is no love lost between Sergio Gomez and Tony Rizzo. It was just a few weeks ago in the BCW Commonwealth title tournament that Tony Rizzo eliminated Sergio Gomez. So I think there's still a lot going on in terms of the rivalry between Sergio and Tony Rizzo. We know it's the Tool and Cameron Lewis. They want a piece of each other as their tag team partners. Isaac Taylor and Sweetcox will be going at it coming up in the co-main event here tonight. And the Tool there with a beautiful maneuver, just going and grabbing the head and slamming it into the mat, using all Tony Rizzo's weight against him. And now Sergio, he's got the Tool in the ropes, really ranking on that arm. Smart maneuver. If you can't use that arm to lift up your opponent to get him over the top rope, it's going to make it very difficult to get an elimination. And Tony Rizzo just slamming the back of Sergio Gomez into the ropes. Tool going for a pump handle, but just too much weight. Tony Rizzo counters. That is what the advantage of having over 100 pounds on an opponent will do. It's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of power to muscle up an over 300-pound Tony Rizzo. And Tony Rizzo, he is all muscle. And now Tony Rizzo, he's locking up the Tool in the ropes with that cravat. Sergio Gomez throwing Tony Rizzo into the corner, focusing his attention on the Tool. Sergio gets the Tool over the top rope and he's dangling there. Oh, but the Tool was able to get back in. The rivalry between Tony Rizzo and Sergio was too much there. They want a piece of each other real bad. And that could have been a huge mistake as they had the opportunity to potentially eliminate the Tool. And right as I say that, the Tool is eliminated.
The Tool has been eliminated.
And the two men that have the most heated rivalry in this one are going at it, and just Tony Rizzo waiting for Sergio to just get up and do something. I think Sergio's getting a little more gassed. Sergio Gomez in his 50s, over 30 plus years in the biz. He does not have the same level of cardio that Tony Rizzo has. So that could play a factor in this one. The longer this one goes, the more it might favor a younger, little more leaner, little more muscle on him. Tony Rizzo with a big cannonball right in the corner there. Sergio's starting to get worn down. Sergio, he is such a big luchador. He is an over 300-pound luchador. Reverses here. Is Tony Rizzo going out? Oh, but took a little bit of time to fuel his ego, playing it up to the crowd. I think it would have been smart for Sergio to go for the kill there, but it could have just been the cardio. It could have been fatigue. Could have been him gasping for air. And now he's doing the smart maneuver, grounding Tony Rizzo and picking him apart on the ground. Tony Rizzo is so strong, so muscular, but he generates a lot of that power from a vertical base. When he's in that horizontal base, it does Sergio Gomez all the favors in the world. Sergio picks him back up, though. What's he going? Oh, he's going for the ropes. Is he going to take him over? And now Sergio Gomez trash talking here. I think he's a little bit winded. I don't think he can quite get him up. And I think now it's a bit of a reversal where it was Sergio Gomez a little bit gassed on the ropes. Oh, but Sergio is over the top. Tony Rizzo, he's just got to knock him out. Sergio gets back in. Tony Rizzo went for that shoulder block. Was unable to get it before Sergio got back in. And I think it's going to play a factor here with a lot on the line, with an open contract for BCW Slamtacular. There is a lot on the line, and I think you got to put your rivalry aside. You got to put the heated exchange between these two aside, and you got to go for the win. You got to treat this analytical, not emotional. And I think the wrestler who can make this more analytical, save the emotions for Slamtacular, just get that win, get that open contract, get the match stipulation you want. Because as I mentioned, Slamtacular is going to be the biggest event in BCW history, and I guarantee you're going to want to win in that one. You will live forever in infamy at the first ever Slamtacular, and if you have your opponent and the match type all sealed up, it is going to be the exact reverse of Random Draw 3. All these men went into it not knowing who their opponent would be, what the match stipulation would be. There's a lot of X factors there. And Sergio Gomez going for that Gomez splash. That's his finisher. He is really taking it to Tony Rizzo. And now picking him up and slamming him down to the mat. Sergio is really feeling it. He is really a confidence-based wrestler. And picks him up in a huge cutter. Tony Rizzo flopping right off the mat, bouncing about 2 feet in the air after that pop-up cutter. And Sergio is really feeling it now. He is getting all the momentum in the world. Over the top rope, Tony Rizzo eliminated.
Tony Rizzo has been eliminated.
Sergio Gomez has picked up a huge win here tonight. Winner of the Battle Royal, Sergio Gomez. And we seen there, it was the Tool eliminating Cameron Lewis. Cameron Lewis was, in my books, the favorite. And then it was Tony Rizzo eliminating the Tool and Sergio Gomez eliminating Tony Rizzo.
Here is your Battle Royal winner, the Idol, Sergio Gomez.
Well, congratulations to Sergio Gomez. Picks up the win here tonight. Gets that open contract for Slamtacular. What match and what opponent will he choose? I think he's going to go after Tony Rizzo. What will the match stipulation be? We're going to have to find out. But congratulations to Sergio Gomez picking up the win in our opener tonight. Well, there we go. Tensions running high between Adam Ace and Jacob Akane. Can they pull it together in the main event and come out with the BCW World Tag Team titles? We're going to find out. But in our next match, Grizzly Mac versus Kensho. It was a few weeks ago that Grizzly Mac obliterated Kensho before his Commonwealth title tournament quarterfinal match, causing him the loss. Kensho wants his revenge. Grizzly Mac wants to take out Kensho permanently. Let's take it to the ring for our second contest here tonight at Random Draw 3.
He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 285 pounds. He is an explosive powerhouse wrestler from parts unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grizzly Mac!
And here he is, Grizzly Mac, making his way to the ring, 8-2 singles record. And there are very, very few on the BCW roster who can match the absolutely chiseled physique of a Grizzly Mac. And when you combine that with how aggressive he is in the ring, he is an absolute wrecking machine. And it was a few weeks ago when Grizzly Mac helped a mere man defeat Kensho. He came out and obliterated Kensho prior to his Commonwealth title tournament quarterfinal match, knocked him out, and then it was a mere man who picked up the scraps. Can Kensho get his revenge here tonight, or will Grizzly Mac steamroll Kensho again?
standing 6 feet, 4 inches tall, and weighing 245 pounds. He is a world-renowned striker who brings over 10 years of professional experience to the ring. From Tokyo, Japan, Kensho.
And here he comes to the ring, for my money, the most dangerous striker in BCW. He is absolutely lethal with those knees. He's devastating with his hands. He knows the art of 8 limbs, and he uses every single one of them to his advantage. Kensho has that absolutely brutal kaiju killer knee strike that he has knocked out many an opponent with. It has secured his victories in BCW in the past. Can he use it tonight to pick up the win over Grizzly Mac? But let's take it to the randomizer. Let's find out what the randomized stipulation will be for this heavyweight clash. Well, here we go. The bell has rung. The match is underway. Knockout only match here tonight at Random Draw 3. And this one definitely favors Kensho a bit more than a Grizzly Mac. But Grizzly Mac, he has that absolutely devastating claw submission hold that he could potentially use to get the knockout if he knocks out Kensho by applying that hold and choking all the life out of his body. It could be registered as a knockout. So a slight advantage for Kensho, but is virtually a pick'em. But when it comes to this match, Kensho, I think he wanted that knockout match. He wanted, and I think, in my opinion, he deserves a bit of an advantage in this one, because what Grizzly Mac did to Kensho prior to that Commonwealth title tournament quarterfinal match was absolutely disgusting. Blindsided him and then just obliterated him on the mat with those shots to the back of the head, knocking out Kensho. So if Kensho can get a little bit of revenge by winning this match and knocking out Grizzly Mac, that would be quite apropos, but that is a lot easier said than done. Grizzly Mac is built like, pun intended, a Mack truck. He is absolutely jacked. There is not an ounce of fat on him, and he has a head like a car battery. And Grizzly Mac, using his power, locking in that Alabama slam reversal. Kensho, I think, was going for that double underhook blue thunder bomb that we've seen him do in the past, but Grizzly Mac just showing his power here, manhandling the 245-pound Kensho like he's nothing. And Kensho, that obliterated his ribs in his midsection. And Kensho was such an unbelievable gas tank. Smart maneuver from Grizzly Mac. I say it every time Grizzly Mac competes. He is criminally underrated in terms of his game plans. You think he is just a big, brawling bruiser that goes out there and fights aggressive and wild, but he has a mind behind him that I think is quite underrated. It's unmatched. He is very, very cerebral. It is just the package that cerebral mind is wrapped in that really makes opponents question him. They think he's going to go out there a million miles an hour, and to a degree he does, but he does it with purpose. He does it with plan, and I think that is why Grizzly Mac is so successful in BCW, is because he surprises his opponents with his smarts. And speaking of smarts right there, Kensho going for that knee, and going for the knee again, and when we opened up this match, he went for the knee, so that is definitely seems like the firm game plan of Kensho. Take out the vertical base of a Grizzly Mac. It's a lot harder to generate all that explosive power when you do not have a vertical base, but Grizzly Mac blocking that kick. And as I mentioned in the intro, and Grizzly Mac here with these headbutts. As I mentioned in the intro, Kensho is going to use those knees. Grizzly Mac, he is going to use his head literally and figuratively. He's not just going to use his smarts, but he's going to physically use that head to unleash some brutal headbutts. And even though this is a knockout-only match, I think that is the one advantage that Grizzly Mac has, is that head like a car battery. It's going to be so hard to knock out a Grizzly Mac when he is actively using his head as a weapon. What do you do to a guy like that to knock him out? Kensho is going to have to crack the code if he wants the victory in this huge, huge match at Random Draw 3 here tonight. Both men seem to have a game plan. They're executing it. Neither one has really got an advantage. This has not been a runaway train, but it could be a runaway train right now that he's got that claw hold locked in. Just sapping the life right out of Kensho. Kensho able to get it out, wrench that arm, possibly hyperextending the elbow. It is a beautiful counter, and what else can you do when you have the life being sucked out of you? Kensho set him up there. Big knee strike to the midsection. Let's take a look at this instant replay here, just obliterating that solar plexus. And if you hit a guy right in the solar plexus, that could do a lot of damage. That could really have that air rush out of you. Goes up for the double underhook. Hits it there. Angel's wings. Couldn't hit it the first time. Hits it the second time. And now just admonishing Grizzly Mac, letting him know. Going for that moonsault, but misses. I don't think Kensho has the same spring in his step, especially after unleashing all those leg strikes. That really takes it out of your legs. It really builds up that lactic acid, and you can't get that same spring like Kensho needed when he sprung off the ropes on that one. Grizzly Mac reverses with a huge clothesline. Picks him up, slams him down into that big, huge sidewalk slam. And Grizzly Mac starting to feel it, showing off his physical prowess, showing off his dominance in the ring. But we've been talking about what Kensho has to do to knock out Grizzly Mac. What does Grizzly Mac have to do to knock out Kensho? Kensho has very few losses in BCW. He is a former #1 contender. And the only reason he's not champion right now was some of the shenanigans of Dirty Don. We know how much Dirty Don loves those shenanigans. He loves pulling out tricks in title matches. And if it was a straight one-on-one match, Kensho would be the BCW World Champion right now. So the championship caliber quality of these opponents is evident. Both men have been to the tippy top of BCW. They have been right there in the top 3, top 5, top 10 rankings consistently since they debuted in BCW. And we have two high-ranked competitors going at it here tonight. Something has got to give eventually, no matter how mentally strong you are, and both these competitors are mentally strong. The body does give out at some point, and when will that be? And it is right now! Kensho with an explosive knockout out of nowhere! Right as I was just saying, what will these men have to do to win? The Kaiju Killer knee strike, that knee right to the bridge of the nose, knocking out Grizzly Mac. Referee in perfect position. Kensho out of nowhere. That is how explosive Kensho is. That is how devastating the Kaiju Killer knee strike is. Improves to 5-2 in BCW. Kensho is on a roll going into Slamtacular. Congratulations to him. Huge win for Kensho here tonight. Well, it looks like NSFW are on the same page and they got some sort of plan. We're going to have to find out what that is. But up next, Sweetcox versus Isaac Taylor. It was Sweetcox disguised as Benson Hicks who attacked Isaac Taylor backstage, knocked him out and put him through that table, tried to take him out, tried to end his career. Isaac Taylor wants his revenge, and it's really going to come down to the randomized stipulation. What match type will this one be? We're going to find out. Let's take it to the randomizer and see what the match type is. Well, here we go. A brand new match type for BCW, the Great Beyond match.
Standing 6 feet tall and weighing 285 pounds from San Francisco, California, he is Sweetcox.
Well, here we go. A new match type for BCW, the Great Beyond match. A casket match where you gotta wear your best funeral attire, because that is exactly what you're looking to do in this one, is put your opponent out and send them to the Great Beyond. Sweetcox dressed to the nines, but can he pick up the win here tonight against Isaac Taylor? We're going to find out.
Standing 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing 275 pounds. He is a power wrestler who comes to us from Detroit, Michigan. He is the self-proclaimed baddest man alive, Isaac Taylor.
Well, here we go. Isaac Taylor making his way to the ring, and the self-proclaimed baddest man alive is looking real good here tonight for this Great Beyond match. And this is a match type that could be quite brutal. There was a lot of options there. Street fight, last man standing. But this Great Beyond match, you're going to have to beat your opponent senseless, put him in the casket, close the lid. There's going to be, I'm assuming, a lot of violence in this match for this first time ever in BCW match. It is a new signature match, a BCW, the Great Beyond match. Who's going to come out with the win in this first time ever matchup? Oh, and here we go. They are bringing out the casket. And here we go. The bell has rung. The match is underway. The casket is in place. Isaac Taylor with a big, huge belly-to-belly to kick off this one. And as I mentioned, a new signature match in BCW, the Great Beyond match. A casket match where you need to wear your best funeral attire because you are looking to put your opponent 6 feet under. I think this match is going to have a lot of brutality in it. And whenever you have a first time ever matchup in BCW, you're going to want to come out with the win. And there is a lot of heat, a lot of bad blood between these two. Being attacked backstage and trying to be taken out, being knocked out and then put through a table. So brutal. That was the edict, I'm assuming, of a Dirty Dawn so that they could gain the advantage in that 6-man tag, which turned into a 3-on-2. And Isaac Taylor is going to be able to close. Oh, thought he might have been able to close the lid on that one. The arena was getting dark. What's going to happen when the lid closes? Oh, and a big, huge back elbow to the face, obliterating just the nose. That could be a broken nose for Sweetcox, and Sweetcox looks out after that one. Isaac Taylor, even though he has that elbow pad on, wow, that is a lot of force. Isaac Taylor, former football player, he knows how to generate explosive power, and now he's on the top rope to the outside with the huge splash. Gets caught up a bit there with the ankles on the corner beat of the apron. And now what's he picking him up for? Picks him up on his shoulders and just slams him down, really obliterating the back. And now he's going for some weapons. It is a no DQ, and he's got that light tube. Hits him right there and smashes it right over his face. Sweetcox is looking real worse for wear in this one. Isaac Taylor doing a lot of damage. Picks him up again and just slams him down to the outside. We got that really thin matting. It creates a little bit of cushion, but it is about a quarter inch. There is not much there. This is a lot of brutality in a very short period of time. And speaking of brutality, we still have the main event for the BCW World Tag Team titles. Adam Ace and Jacob Akane. And I've been talking about in this one how there is bad blood between these two. There is bad blood between the 4 members in the main event. Can Adam Ace and Jacob Akane get on the same page? It looked like they were having a rough go. We're going to find out in the main event. But here, we still have the co-main going on. And it looks like Isaac Taylor could be looking to finish this one up. Can he get the lid closed? The arena's going dark. He's got 2 hands on it now. Really pushing with all his might. That takes a lot of power. Much like how in MMA you have that clinch game where it really zaps all your power. Pushing down with all your weight, all your force, all your might is going to use a lot of muscle power. It's going to drain that gas tank, and it's going to send Sweetcox right over the top rope when Isaac Taylor hits him with that clothesline. And this has been all Isaac Taylor. Isaac Taylor coming out with a lot of power, a lot of explosivity. And even though Isaac Taylor's coming out with all that power and all that explosiveness, he has kept his head in check. He has been able to keep his emotions under wraps, and he is looking to get the victory. He has already done some big, huge maneuvers. He has already hit him with that light tube. He's hit him with multiple moves onto the ground. They are taking this one outside of the ring. They're playing with a lot of unnatural angles. You got the corner beat of the apron. You got the ring post. You got the casket right there. There is a lot of unfavorable materials on the outside here. And now Sweetcox says he's going to look to close the lid, and he is. But Isaac Taylor gets out right away. I think the maneuver you want to do is be in the ring, pushing down on that casket lid. When you were on the outside, you do not have weight on your advantage, and I think that is why Isaac Taylor was able to get out of that so quick, and now just hitting him on the barricade. As I was mentioning, a lot of unnatural angles and a lot of unnatural materials. There's a lot of steel. There's a lot of that thin matting. We got the hard wood of that casket. And Isaac Taylor picks him up. Military press. Showing his power and really feeling it now. Is Isaac Taylor going in for the kill? Has he done enough? Oh, but Sweetcox right there. Over 300 pounds, a slight weight advantage for Sweetcox. And even though it's a slight weight advantage, he used it there to block potentially the pounce that Isaac Taylor is known for. Shutting it down there. And now Sweetcox, speaking of what these men are known for, he has set him up in the corner. No DQ. He's going for that girthquake. And just boom, hits him right there. I was just talking about how Isaac Taylor was doing significant damage to Sweetcox, but Sweetcox doing a lot of damage there to Isaac Taylor with that girthquake. Isaac Taylor plants him with a DDT right in the center of the ring. Sweetcox rolls to the side, but there is nowhere to run. There is nowhere to hide for Sweetcox. Isaac Taylor going here now. Blocks the clothesline, hits him with that pounce. Sweetcox's head knocking right off that bottom rope. And now he's taking him to the casket. Could this be it? Picks him up, throws him in. Isaac Taylor, is he going to look to go for the kill here? He's got Sweetcox in the casket. He's got that lid. Pushing down on it with all his might. 2 hands now. Can he get the win? Pushing and wrenching on it. Sweetcox trying to fight back. Oh, and he got some there. Big, huge lightning bolt. Isaac Taylor has won the Great Beyond match. Sends Sweetcox to the Great Beyond, and look at that big, huge lightning bolt to the casket. Well, now we know why this is called the Great Beyond match. Now we know why you have to wear your funeral attire as a must, because Isaac Taylor just sent Sweetcox to the Shadow Realm, gets the win, picks up one of the biggest wins of his career. Winner of the first ever Great Beyond match. The Brotherhood will face Hard Limit at Slamtacular if Sweetcox can make it there. Big congratulations to Isaac Taylor picking up a huge win in this one.
Benson Hicks, you are the sole #1 contender for my BCW World title. And you have your one-on-one match against me at the upcoming Slamtacular event. Congratulations. I've already signed the contract and sent it to you. But why am I so confident, you may be asking? Well, I thought putting a $1 million bounty on you would be enough to get you on the sidelines, but perhaps that wasn't a big enough carrot to dangle. So I am now offering this to anyone who can take out Benson and prevent him from making it to our world title match. Next week, one night only. Anyone who can take out Benson will get $10 million. Happy hunting, and good luck, Benson.
And here we go, main event time, and we have the main event breakdown for you right here, right now. It was originally the Game Changers and the Exiled. It was the Exiled who defeated the Game Changers at the Urban Warfare pay-per-view to win the BCW World Tag Team titles. The Game Changers, they worked their way up the rankings. They earned a rematch, and in this one-on-one contest, right before that tag team title match, it was Ultimo Nightmare taking on Jason Shields. He injured Jason Shields back in that match. Medical staff came out, and it was Ultimo Nightmare just brutalizing Jason Shields post-match, really causing that back injury to get much, much worse. That has put Jason Shields on the shelf for quite a long time. And then it was Adam Ace looking for a tag team partner to take on the Exile to get his revenge. Jacob Akane, he was tasked to find a tag team partner if he wanted to face the Exiled as well. So it was a bit of my enemy's enemy is my friend. These two teamed up to face Shizu and Kinzoku. They picked up the win. They earned their opportunity to face the Exiled at Beyond Rules 3. And in that non-title tag team match, they hit their tandem finishers. And even though Xander was able to kick out, Ultimo Nightmare got the pin. It was Adam Ace picking up the win on the man that injured his regular tag team partner. And with that victory, they gave the Exile their first defeat. They earned their opportunity here tonight to get a BCW World Tag Team title opportunity. And speaking of that opportunity, let's get into the X factors of this one. It is the experience edge of the champions. They are 11-1. They've been cutting through the tag division like a hot knife through butter. But as I mentioned, that one loss is to the challengers. The challengers are 2-0. They defeated Shizu and Kinzoku and the tag champions. So will that give the challengers the mental edge? They have that non-title win. The Exiled have rallied. They have come back. They've won a match since then. They defeated Slug and Liam Connors, so they got the monkey off their back of that loss. They're coming in with the win in their last match, but it is some big time pressure on Adam Ace and Jacob Akane. As we seen earlier, they're not on the same page. They're going into the main event of Random Draw 3 for the BCW World Tag Team titles. It's the match they've wanted for weeks and weeks and weeks. They finally got that. All the pressure is on the challengers, and it is all coming to a head right here, right now in the main event. Adam Ace and Jacob Akane taking on the Exiled. This time the titles are on the line. This time it is for all the marbles. Can the challengers rally? Can they get on the same page? Or will the Exiled steamroll and defend their titles again like they've been doing since the beginning, since they defeated the Game Changers? A lot of angles in this one. It's all going to come down again to the randomizer. Let's take it to the ring and get this main event kicked off.
Please welcome the team of Adam Ace and Jacob Akane.
And here they are, the challengers for the BCW World Tag Team titles, 2-0. They may not be on the same page in terms of the game plan, but they're both coming out here wanting revenge, and in my opinion, that can be sometimes the greatest motivator for a wrestler, is wanting to get their revenge. But can the challengers get it done tonight and come out with the win and the BCW World Tag Team titles? We're going to find out.
Making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 540 pounds, the undisputed BCW World Tag Team Champions, Ultimo Nightmare and the Hardcore Icon Xander. They are the Exiled.
And here they are coming out to the ring, the Exiled, the BCW World Tag Team Champions, and the mood changes when they enter the arena. There is a chill that permeates the air because they are straight out of a horror movie. Up until their loss to Jacob Akane and Adam Ace at Beyond Rules 3, they had no holes in their game. There was no template to beat them. Now there's a template. The men who have beaten them are challenging them again. Have the Exiled crack the code for beating the challengers? We're going to find out here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is for the undisputed BCW World Tag Team Championship.
This is what it's all about in the tag team division. The gold is on the line. The BCW World Tag Team titles are up for grabs. And it does not get any bigger than a championship match here in BCW, especially with these two teams with such an impressive record. 13-1 between these teams. They're not known for losing. But let's take it to the randomizer and find out what match they're going to compete in. And here we go. The bell has rung. The match is underway. Elimination tag team match for the BCW World Tag Team titles is the main event here tonight of Random Draw 3 Night 2. And for two teams who are not known for losing, 13-1 between these two teams. It is going to be quite the tall task to eliminate both members of a team to either win or retain the BCW World Tag Team titles. Pull up a comfy chair, get your popcorn, get a drink, because we could be in for a long match. This could be a long night before both members of a team are eliminated. This is truly what BCW is all about, taking the two best, putting them in the ring in the main event of a pay-per-view, and that is what this is truly. 1 loss in 13 matches for these two, and the X factor is really going to be just the experience factor of the Exiled versus a new tag team of Adam Ace and Jacob Akane. Of course, Adam Ace, he is one half of the Game Changers. Jason Shields is his normal tag team partner. The Game Changers were the first ever BCW World Tag Team Champions. They were defeated by the Exiled at the Urban Warfare pay-per-view, and ever since then, the Exiled have been dominant. Jason Shields has found a spark, though, with Jacob Akane. They have defeated the Exiled. They do have that mental edge against them. So it's really going to come down to how their game plan works. Can they get on the same page? It didn't seem like they were on the same page earlier tonight. But Adam Ace, he is such a good member of the team for game planning. He is the strategist of the Game Changers. They were able to win the BCW World Tag Team titles to be the first champions. And Jacob Akane, that big, huge Samoan, they call him the Savage for a reason. He is such the perfect tag team partner. So when Adam Ace had his partner Jason Shields on the shelf, he found pretty much the prime pick to go up against the Exiled. You could not pick a better tag team partner in terms of physicality, in terms of how big and strong and motivated he is to destroy the Exiled than a Jacob Akane. So it has all come down to this. The time for talk is over. It is time for smashing. It is time to see who is the best tag team in the world. And we have Ultimo Nightmare and Jacob Akane, the two bigger men of their respective tag teams, going at it here in the ring, throwing some big shots. And at the same time, where this match could go all night long with both of these two men in the ring, it could be the reverse. This could be a very quick match when you have two big, strong, explosive men going at it in the ring, and Ultimo Nightmare just traps Jacob Akane in his own corner and just starts obliterating with some of those shots. Let's take a look at this instant replay. Devastating shots to the body, head. But Jacob Akane is able to recover, hits him with that big, huge belly-to-belly, but only gets a 1. Oh, but picks him up, deadlifts him, and just drops him right on the back of his head. That is the explosive power of a 350-pound Samoan and a big, huge super kick to the face. Now is he going for the splash? Went for the splash, no water in the pool, all the air rushing out of the lungs of a Jacob Akane. That is one of his finishers, is that big Samoan splash. And now Xander gets in the ring, goes for the tag. Xander, the smaller but more cerebral, he is that deathmatch expert. So Xander, he has that skin like an elephant. He is so durable, so resilient after all those years of deathmatch and hardcore matches. He may be smaller, he may be skinnier than Jacob Akane, but Xander, on the toughness scale, he is right at the tippy top of BCW. So tough, so resilient, he can take so much pain, and he's so smart there by ducking that big, huge wheel kick. You do not want a 350-pounder to hit you with that wheel kick when you are a Xander just over that 200-pound mark. Adam Ace with that big, huge elbow. Adam Ace so crisp on that one. And now just jamming up the knee, and Xander, he has that knee brace on the right knee. There is nothing from the medical staff that suggests that he has any issue with that knee. I think he uses it as a weapon, and Adam Ace there goes for the flatliner. That's his finisher. 1, 2, can he eliminate? Not going for the win, they're going for the elimination. Both these teams looking for that first elimination, and whoever gets it, and he's going for the stomp, that's his other finisher. Can he pick up the win here? Can he pick up the first elimination win? And Ultimo Nightmare just glomming him. And that is something we have not touched on yet. The first pin or submission in this one does not win you the World Tag Team titles. All it does is give you that massive, massive advantage of having a 2-on-1. And now Xander, he has had enough. He has taken his opponent into his own corner. Is he going to tag in Ultimo Nightmare? And he does. Going for a little double team, just double stomping him. Wearing Jacob Akane down. And I think in terms of what you're going to want to do for each team in this one is you're going to want to take out the smaller opponent. Goes for the cover here. Can he take out the big man? I think the Exile, they're going to want to take out Adam Ace. He's the smaller of the two men. Perhaps the easier of the two to take out. When you get hit with a big, huge chokeslam like that. And Adam Ace breaks it up there. When you get hit with a big, huge chokeslam from a 6'7" opponent, when he picks you up over 7 feet in the air and slams you down. But Jacob Akane with a throat punch. Jacob Akane does not care if he is in danger of getting disqualified, going for a punch right to the throat. Adam Ace now dropped down. Oh, but gets caught there. Too much power in the body of an Ultimo Nightmare. But Adam Ace with that big, huge kick. Kick right to the face, and I think he hit him in that mask. And we've said it before, when Ultimo Nightmare gets hit in the face, it compresses that mask against the face, which almost, I think, does more damage. And now you get the big man back in. I don't think Ultimo Nightmare saw that tag. Smart maneuver. You're expecting a lighter blow from an Adam Ace, and then you have a 350-pound Jacob Akane coming into the ring and hitting you hard. It is the shots you don't see coming. 1-0. And Xander so fast. I mean, Ultimo Nightmare was fast when he came in to break up that other pinfall attempt. What an unbelievable shot from Jacob Akane. And as I mentioned, when you get hit in that mask, it does double damage, and Ultimo Nightmare is reeling. Using the corners for some sense of surcease, but Adam Ace not letting him get any rest. Big drop over kick to the back of the head. Compressing that neck and potentially that mask right into the face. Now he's going up top for a big maneuver. What's he going to look to hit here? Phoenix Splash hits it with every bit of it. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Adam Ace thought that was it. Beautiful Phoenix Splash. We don't see too many top rope fancy maneuvers like that from Adam Ace, but he went for it there. Picks him up. Hits him with the flatliner mask. Smash it right into the ring. Can he get it? And Ultimo Nightmare cannot be stopped no matter how much pain is inflicted on Ultimo Nightmare. He just keeps kicking out and kicking out. Ultimo Nightmare breaks out of the corner there, just steamrolls them as per usual with all that height and weight advantage. Makes the tag to Xander. We got the two smaller men here in the ring. Super kick, blocks it, goes for the Bulldog. Xander picking up a little steam here. And now the Exile going for those frequent tags, going for those double team maneuvers. We see a lot more double team maneuvers from the Exile than we do from Adam Ace and Jacob Akane. Adam Ace and Akane are working pretty good here, even though they had a bit of dissension backstage earlier tonight. And a big, huge boot right there to the outside, just clobbering Adam Ace. Adam Ace, he is very woozy, trying to get back into the ring. He does not want to play with the Exiled on the outside. The Exiled have the firm advantage when it comes to the outside of the ring. And now this one is breaking down here. They do not want to get a count out. The referee urging Ultimo Nightmare to get back in the ring. Oh, and Adam Ace went for that baseball slide. Was unable to come up with it on that one. And Adam Ace going for the leg, wrenching the heel hook. Could bend the knee. Smart maneuver from an over 6'7" competitor. If you can take out the vertical base of an Ultimo Nightmare, you are going to extremely hinder his power and ability to pick you up for that Nightmare Fuel, to pick you up for that choke slam. And speaking of the Nightmare Fuel, did he injure the leg enough? He did not, and he gets obliterated with it, sends him to the Shadow Realm. Jacob Akane right there, though, to break it up. Beautiful tag team synergy from a tag team who were not on the same page going into this one. But nothing gets you more on the same page than having the Exiled hand it to you with some brutal maneuvers. And a big code breaker there. Using that knee brace to its full advantage, smashing into the face of Adam Ace.
Adam Ace has been eliminated.
Adam Ace has been eliminated. In this one, we go to that instant replay, and it is some of that hard metal and that hard plastic right to the face of Adam Ace. maybe knocked him out, I don't know, but it was enough to pick up the win. And now Jacob Akane, he is going it alone. The big 350-pound Samoan has no one on his side. He has no backup. He has no help. And he is in a 2-on-1 situation. It is going to take a Herculean effort for Jacob Akane to pick up the win in this one. He has just got to keep his nose to the grindstone. And he hit Xander with a potential knockout shot. Xander gets that hot tag. And Jacob Akane, he is doing his best. He is going 2-on-1 against the Exiled. And he is looking absolutely fantastic. But Ultimo Nightmare kick to the gut. Picking him up, looking to put him away. But here we go, picks him up, Nightmare Fuel, sends him to the Shadow Realm. Could this be enough? 1, 2, Exiled retain. It was the Code Breaker with the knee brace that took out Adam Ace. It was the Nightmare Fuel that took out Jacob Akane. What a huge win for the Exiled. Not just defending their BCW World Tag Team titles, but doing it 2-0. And as we see here, this was the final nail in the coffin. That big, huge Nightmare Fuel powerbomb. It has defeated Jacob Akane before. It defeated him again. It was the ace in the hole for the Exiled. They retain the BCW World Tag Team titles. 12-1-0. Can anyone stop the Exiled? Their reign of dominance is unmatched.
Here are your winners and still undisputed BCW World Tag Team Champions, The Exiled.
Alright, well, I gotta catch my breath, but let's go over the results of tonight's card. It was a 4-man over-the-top rope battle royal to kick off Random Draw 3 with the Idol Sergio Gomez picking up the win. We're gonna find out what he decides for that open contract at Slam-tacular. Then, it was Kensho defeating Grizzly Mac in a knockouts-only match. Kensho snaps that losing streak, gets the monkey off his back, and gets back to his winning ways with a knockout win over Grizzly Mac. Then it was a first time ever Great Beyond match. It is that casket match that saw Isaac Taylor picking up the win. Isaac Taylor, with one of the biggest wins of his career, defeats Sweetcox and gets that little bit of revenge. And then in the main event, an elimination tag team match for the undisputed BCW World Tag Team titles. The Exiled pick up the win. They have now 6 successful title defenses, 12-1 in BCW, and 635 days plus as champions. Can anyone stop the Exiled? But as we look to our next episode, Dirty Dawn now has that $10 million bounty. With a bounty that tantalizing, someone's got to collect. Who's coming to collect on Benson Hicks? And we have Sergio Gomez. He will reveal the opponent and stipulation for that open contract. And as a result of the main event here tonight, next week's main event, Adam Ace versus Jacob Akane, the tag team has imploded. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for the next one.